mode.
Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome to the webinar on Let's Make Real-Time Collaboration Work for You. I have my colleague Jay Mehta, who is the co-panelist on today's session. Jay comes from SharePoint background. He is a senior SharePoint consultant at Cygnet Infotech and has been instrumental in delivering collaboration solutions using SharePoint, Office 365, and other platforms at Cygnet. On today's session, we are going to share a 20-minute interactive topics about how to make collaboration work for you, how to use SharePoint, what are the strategies to focus on, and then finally be following up with a set of questions and comments from you, answering them real time to help you solve queries. So as I spoke, what are we going to talk about today is how real-time SharePoint collaboration adds value to your organization. This topic specifically focuses around people who already have SharePoint or are looking and evaluating at SharePoint as a possible solution to allow them to be implemented in the organization. They can be in phases where they are deciding on or are already invested into SharePoint. Also, when you invest into SharePoint, what it can cover for your organization, you can talk about Lync, mobile, and telephony integration, and enabling SharePoint and Office 365 on different mobile devices. Finally, building a smarter enterprise with the right platform at the right time and with the right choice. So once we get started, and by the time we end, we are hoping that you would know a couple of ways to how make collaboration work for you. So what happens when the collaboration goes wrong in the enterprise? Well, when you have team members working with each other with a perfect collaboration platform, and imagine a scenario where instead all the employees and all the individuals in the organization are focusing on different priorities. So instead of working with each other, you are now in a scenario where you are working against each other. So we'll talk about some of the collaboration tools that can help you out. We have Office 365, and we'll get started with it. So Jay, we've got Office 365. It contains Office, Exchange Online, Lync, SharePoint, etc. Can you tell us how these tools work together in tandem?
Yeah, hello everyone. First of all, I would like to start with the background of the SharePoint. Is that we all know that SharePoint is being offered as a on-premise solution as well as the cloud. So here we are talking about the Office 365. So there are a different essence of Office 365 available in the plan itself with the Office 365. If we talk about the Office, so like the Office tools are like the latest day-to-day activity tools, like we usually deal with them, like Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Sometimes, and nowadays, OneNote is being most popular to prepare the notes of the meeting. If we talk about the Exchange and the Lync Online, so it provides them email facilities as well as the your online presence. With Lync Online, you can have a instant messaging, HD-based video conferencing, and even real-time document sharing. So like you can share the documents directly over the Lync chat window. Along with that, the SharePoint Online itself is a part of a package of the Office 365. So basically it allows you to take the leverage of SharePoint version of cloud-based as a cloud-based solution. So this is how basically Office 365 works together. So ultimately, if we compare and look at this, all four tools available here, so all will be considered as like in a collaborative way that they work.
All right. So when we talk about Office 365, what is the best way to have it implemented? And can you just throw out some light about how it is different from some of the other tools which are available on the market, like, because we're talking about Lync Online, Exchange Online, SharePoint Online. So how they are different, and what are the benefits?
In sense of a benefit, like the Microsoft solutions are always having higher values compared to the other comparative products. And if we talk about the SharePoint, so SharePoint is not only referring to the specific single solution, like if you consider the collaboration or maybe document management system, or maybe you implement the BI stack on it, but it covers with the multiple solutions on a single stack and give you the maximum feature and functionalities available out of box of SharePoint. Like for example, as we can see that you can save and share your OneNote notebook on the cloud. Now, very amazing thing about the OneNote is that there is no save button. It saves the document, means like your note, automatically, and it can be persisted over the SharePoint, either it is on cloud or on premise. Along with the OneNote and the MS Word, you can also have a co-authoring option available. So like at the same time on a single document, simultaneous user can work. So basically that can improve the efficiency and increase the productivity in a lot far better way. Further things like password protection areas you can create into the OneNote, so like your information can be secured and a protected one. You can also embed whole application within an email and you can send it across to the concerned stakeholders, like you can have your employee training tracker or like leave policies or leave management system. So all applications can be embedded within the emails, and that is how the collaboration works in a smart enterprise.
Okay, fantastic. So just to break it down, what we're talking about is Office 365 is an online version. It's available at a much better licensing rate. It also allows you to implement some amazing things like giving access to employees, co-authoring on documents, etc. And most likely you suggest that teams that are less than 50 people at one time should definitely try out Office 365. And I believe in our experience we've also implemented Office 365 on larger teams as well. There's no harm for large teams to try out Office 365 as long as they're open at sharing, keeping and hosting everything on cloud, which is pretty good because there are very good backup and maintenance policies. There are data retention policies by Microsoft which are available on their cloud. Now, talking about SharePoint as a platform, most of us only know SharePoint as a document management container, or some place to store documents. But that's something that you can also do with a shared server. So how is SharePoint different when it comes to collaboration as a collaboration platform for an enterprise? And what features do you think really help?
Well, when we talk about the SharePoint as a complete platform for an enterprise, it's pretty simple to understand. Like, there is not only a collaboration is needed for a particular enterprise. They need further things as well. Like along with the collaboration, you need social networking. You may need content management. You need search, because as you have a lots of content, so then the content has to be discovered on a very effective basis. Then when we talk about the collaboration, so sometimes collaboration involves the business processes as well. Like if we, for example, if we consider the collaboration for the project management, so in that case there are certain workflows can be involved, like the task assignment, task completion, task approval. Many things can be part of it. So that is how the SharePoint caters all the requirements of the complete enterprise, where all the needs can be met. When particularly talk about the better way of communication and the better way of collaboration, it's pretty simple in terms of like the features. Basically, by offering of SharePoint out of box is like, if you consider like further things we always and used to know about it, but like the wikis, like the best way and the missing area in the many organization is that wiki, like the knowledge sharing. Means if a particular team has gained some knowledge from any project, so that is very difficult to share the knowledge among the other team members or the other teams as well. So by just drafting the wikis, put it into the approval like a proper content management lifecycle, and you can have your better collaboration across the organization.
All right. So now we are going to talk about why it is considered to be an enterprise solution. So, okay, just stepping back on the slide, a few of the things that we've highlighted here are something that really helps as a tool, as a platform to make sure that the ideas get flowing, people start really connecting, they are looking into different ideas. You are also making everyone part of the decision-making process. Like the actual hero of collaboration is these business use cases that you can implement in your organization, such as surveys and polls. So whenever you are looking at shifting an office to a new premise, you want to know that what is the best location out of the few options that you have narrowed down to. You can always run a poll with your team and can run it through. Also, there is file sharing, and there is project and team workspaces, which allows you to share information, documents, etc., videos, libraries, etc., onto SharePoint.
It means absolutely, like I can recall one of my project in which we implemented the collaboration using the Lync server and the SharePoint itself. Like the collaboration was in such a way that the team were basically discussing the product and the projects related all the information by doing the audio and video conferences. So like the audio and video conferences recordings are always being archived on the Lync servers, and later stage the same team was using those archived audios and video conversations for the other team members to educate them. So like if you have a new team member within your team, so you can educate them by just showing and sharing these audios and videos. So that is how it brings lots of productivity. Like from the day one, your resource can be productive, not like you need to spend some time for the his or her training, etc., taking reporting and all. So this is how the very effective collaboration works in a better way for every organization.
Okay, so here's a slide that talks about making document sharing. Okay, so furthermore, you talked about project status reporting and real-time task management, but just tell us, like, how do you implement it? Is it available out of the box, or is it something that you need to do especially on SharePoint? What is the strategy to implement these things?
So basically, it is a SharePoint's nature that to provide the best features out of the box, and some of the features, like in terms of kind of some views you might need to look after based upon your requirement. So for that purpose, you need to go with the slide customizations and all. And further things can be also possible, like to have an integration with some other system as well. So for that, you need to go with some kind of configurations, like or maybe some different service applications which are part of SharePoint itself.
So how do you suggest to implement these things? What is the shortest route to implement these things? Because I think most of the features are OOTB, out of the box, but then how can an organization cut down their time in implementing these?
First of all, you must need to be aware with the concepts which you would like to implement and take the best leverage of the SharePoint out-of-box tools. And for that, you need a kind of a planning in such a way that these are the things on a basic level you need first. Like for example, to implement the project management side as a collaboration or a working collaboration portal. So you just need to be equipped with the calendars and the task management. So like for the calendars, you can enter your deadlines, meeting schedules and everything, and share across the teams, even with the organization itself. You can also have a person's availability, and you can also have a guest link is also possible to be have. So like if for example, you have some portfolios and the case studies which you have prepared within the organization, and you would like to share with the specific customer, so you can also have always a guest link. So for that, the kind of permission and all stuffs are not required to create an account and do this and that. You just create a guest link, and that particular file, or it means like your case study or portfolio will be available to that particular user. Along with that is very simple to implement the tasks as well for the project management. So like you just need to define the tasks assigned to the particular team member, and just you can get a better tracking on with the task. So like this is a very simplest way to have a project management on hand by just using the out-of-box features of SharePoint.
All right, so fantastic. So not only your employees, but even your customers and suppliers, you can actually make and invite them to collaborate with you.
Correct.
Great. So tell us about, a little bit about how you can enable it on mobile, because I think that's the buzzword these days. People are really wanting to access their SharePoint on mobile, and I believe 2013 offers this feature.
Yes, of course. Like if we talk about the SharePoint 2013, it provides the mobility support. So like it depends upon the devices. Like the SharePoint 2013 is now enabled with the device channel. So like basically the request is basically evaluated from the requester point of view, and based upon the screen width and height, it considers the device, and in return it gives the response accordingly. So like the screen will be changed, like we call as a responsive design, web design in the nowadays. But there are some other solutions available, and basically Cygnet offers a solution for the SharePoint mobility. It's called M1 Share, and that is basically developed for those users, those who are working on a buyout concept nowadays, because it is also very popular, like bring your own device and you can have access to your organization data at any moment, at any instance. Like if we, and again there is always a comparison points which I always faced from the customer, that SharePoint 2013 supports mobility and the M1 Share also brings the mobility. So where is the difference? Just the two core difference that what we usually propose to our customers, and they like a lot. If you see your SharePoint site on the mobile, so it will be the same as like the web page that you are accessing with a small screen. So same amount of transitions you need to do with a small screen, so sometimes it's very tedious and hectic to manage. But when you have a direct access to your SharePoint libraries or everything, your SharePoint objects like a list, libraries in terms of list, like you can have access to the tasks, you can have access to the calendars, you can have access to the contacts and everything. So straight away you can update the information through this M1 Share, and you can always be in touch with your all team members and all crew members, those who are working within the same project or even on the same SharePoint site. Another beautiful feature of this M1 Share application is that you do not need to be always connected with the internet. It works offline as well, because like it is not necessary that you are always connected to your organization's intranet or internet site of SharePoint. So you can work home, you can create documents, and once you reach into the like within the organization network or internet connection availability, it will start synchronizing your data, and it syncs your all the offline work with your actual SharePoint work.
So now, thanks very much for throwing some light on M1 Share, but then focusing around coming back to how Lync works and what are the different use cases. So if you can just share us what is Lync. I believe it's just another instant messaging solution from Microsoft, or it allows you to have messaging capabilities with your colleagues.
Well, commonly if we say Microsoft, usually not making a duplicate products. Obviously means we all know that the Skype is now being owned by Microsoft. So like the Skype also provide the same features, varieties of functionalities and all. And similarly Lync also have. But you cannot integrate Skype with the SharePoint, or maybe you need to go with the heavy customizations. But when you talk about Lync, so Lync belongs to the family of Microsoft owned product. It is not being owned, it is being developed by Microsoft. So there are more advantages, like it is easy to integrate. It allows you to have a meeting, taking a note on the meeting at the same time in a OneNote, and you can share the OneNote as well. You can always have a persistent chat, so like you can talk with your organization's member at any moment, anytime, and it also archive the chat as well, so it can be used for the in future references as well. It also provides the video conferencing, group conferencing, and many things as well. And another best feature of Lync is that it connects to your telephone as well. So like if you have a EPBX and a SIP enabled phone lines, so in that case you can just call through a computer to the end customer, which is on the mobile phone or on a desk local landline.
Okay, so you're talking about calling from your, so I've got this Lync app installed on my Android phone, which is pretty amazing, and then I can call from there to anyone on using my PBX system and can have it connected to anywhere in the world, or any of our offices, be it New Jersey, Sydney, or South Africa, or India.
Yes, it also been considered with respect to the country-wise rules and regulations of telecom as well, because for all the countries it is not possible to have a direct call lines through the Lync, but for the most of and the majority of the region area been covered by Microsoft, so you can also have a calling facility to reach to the particular regions.
Okay, that brings me to another very inquisitive tool, Yammer, which was not built by Microsoft. It was owned and was taken into considering the social networking wave. Well, I always thought it would Yammer would compete with Twitter, but then they decided to go enterprise, and here we are. So focusing around Yammer, what are its benefits, and if you can just tell us how it is available.
Well, Premal, you rightly said that the Yammer is not developed by Microsoft; it's being owned by Microsoft. So if I have to say something about the Yammer, so Yammer is a similar like a Facebook or you can consider any social networking application which is available in the market. But this caters to the specific to the organizations only. So like if you have a organization, you can register organization on Yammer, and all your colleagues and like your teammates and all the members of the organization can be registered on the Yammer, and they can share the similar thoughts and everything like a social networking on to the Yammer. The best thing of the Yammer is that it can be collaborated within the SharePoint. So like your comments, likes, everything can be imported and integrated with SharePoint as well. So here is a kind of a difference we can see, but here is the dependency of the solutions with each other. Is like if you want a better collaboration, effective collaboration, you need a social media or social networking must be there, because that is the most simplest way to reach to the particular updates at any moment. Like if we consider in a routine life, if you heard a buzz from the email application, you would not like to see it, but if you heard buzz from the social media or social networking site, you will definitely go and attend. So that is how you can bring the attention to the users and like have a quickly response to the updates or any messages which you are receiving from your customer or even from your colleagues as well.
So finally, I can do away with less emails.
Absolutely right.
Okay, fantastic. And does Yammer have a photo and a can I check into places with Yammer?
Yes, but I hope so your boss don't mind it.
Great. All right. So there are other features that we talk about are the distribution list. There are ways we can actually connect with people. You can share a broadcast a message to a particular list in your organization. You can finally have idea generations rather than just having endless chains of emails and more emails. You can actually send emails and get some answers back using Yammer. It's also available on mobile. So salespeople who are traveling on board, you want to connect with them, you want to know when are they going to be back, when is someone out of office, or just knowing that where is your boss, what is your boss doing this evening. Yammer can be for help. So we've seen all, but where they all meet. So Office 365 is a better for group file sharing where people can work on the same documents, but everything is available online. So you don't really have to maintain and need a lot of resources to host it in-house and to go over with a lot of information at the or save that information and have grow the infrastructure along with as you grow. Then Lync allows you to make a unified communication strategy available for cheap. The other notable feature is with all these platforms, Office 365 actually cuts down on your licensing cost on installing individual Word and Excel and PowerPoint, etc. on different machines. You can actually use an online Word, and you can also have apps. You can also run apps on different tablets that would allow you to use Office 365 on the go. Finally, there are platforms available like M1 Share that would allow you to access your SharePoint documents, lists, subsites, calendars, etc. Now, what is the best way to? I mean, so we've talked about this, but then how do I start implementing it? What is your implementation strategy around these things?
Well, it's coming to this question is pretty easy, and sometimes it feels like very tedious as well to identify such needs. But when you have a clear needs and your goals, so you can easily achieve this implementation strategy. Like first of all, you need to understand about what size you are carrying with your organization. Like if you have a small size of people around in the organization, like 50 or 100, so like you can go with the Office 365, or even some organization going with the 250, 300 employees as well on Office 365. Because Office 365 will come with a very different and great packages to offer in a price, so that can be affordable for the every small and mid-sized organizations. Along with that, all the online versions of SharePoint, Exchange and Lync available, so that you have to just pay for a one package and you can just get all these best solutions in the market on a same stage.
And what about people who are already invested into SharePoint? People, I mean, I've got like tons and tons of people that I know who are already running SharePoint, but they don't know, how to use it except for sending documents inside it and then never looking at those documents again.
Well, I will not blame those people, those who have only stick with this, because they have a not totally understand with the overall SharePoint product. Second thing is that if they are aware with the SharePoint, but they have a lack of knowledge that how to implement that. So because they don't have a knowledge or say proper governance,
time maybe,
or maybe even sometimes the time, like if they don't get the time to implement the proper portal or the collaboration or like document management. So that's why these all are the disadvantages coming through this product. But somehow if you understand the product's nature, how and what are the features are being provided, and once you start putting a right implementation strategy, like proper planning, like defining a proper governance, defining proper information architecture, if you have a legacy documents and everything on a shared drive, so you can bring them to the SharePoint, so by defining their appropriate migration strategy, so you can always everything you can have on your SharePoint.
All right, fantastic. So talk about some of your experience and the way you can actually add value by reducing the implementation time on these solutions.
Yeah. If we have to talk about the Office 365, like a school, means there was a complete need that the staff members can create the courses and curriculum and can be shared across with all the students. But there was a problem that how to carry out this and bring that best collaboration between all the school members, between like the students and their staff members. So over where this SharePoint collaboration worked well. Even though if we consider the staff members, they are not well equipped and well skilled in terms of SharePoint. So that's why they adopted to go with the SharePoint Online, because all the administrative tasks basically performed by Microsoft, like taking backup and everything. So that helps a lot. And they're also having access to the email. So like the email can be configured on the SharePoint and Exchange Online as well. So like every student and staff member can see, discuss particular course or the topic within the course. So that is how they bring the best collaboration. Student is help them having the discussion forums available. So like if a student is having any doubts, so post on the forum, then the great discussion can be carried out within the other students and staff members as well. There is also a possibility to bring a more collaboration with the like a link as well. So like if you want to have a chat or some sessions can be possible online, like for a doubt clearing and everything, and for all the stuff. So basically that is how this Office 365 been implemented for the school for the best collaboration platform.
All right, fantastic. So some of the advantages we talked about was, the all-time availability of latest content. Student can access course material anywhere and any time, and the universities, institutions can also encourage active participation through using different discussion forums. Furthermore, traditional organizations like financial institutions, insurance companies, etc., and banks can implement kind of connected peer-to-peer productivity solutions using social collaboration. So SharePoint in a traditional environment works pretty great. There are many features like quick sync, Outlook-enabled integration with SharePoint, and personal wall to keep track of business events, etc., that can be implemented using collaboration. And these tools are highly suggested for people who want to make sure that there is more and more employee participation in day-to-day activities. It allows to improve collaboration, reduce the usage of emails, and increase productivity through communities, contribution to blogs, wikis, and knowledge sharing. Because the best feedback and the best knowledge that comes from is people that work on the ground in your organization. So I'm sorry we are on a limited time. I see a lot of questions flowing in from all of our colleagues on here on the webinar. We can just quickly go ahead and start with your questions and can focus on some of the answers. For people who we have not been able to answer these questions, you can always email on info@cygnetinfotech.com. But yeah, I think we have more couple of minutes to go through any questions. So the first question is about workspace from Janae Karhani. Yeah.
Thank you for asking this question. Could you please elaborate what do you mean by the workspace? Like, are you talking about your current workspace on desktop? Is it something like that? I can understand that you don't have the microphone, but you can just type your question or like put some more elaboration on your question, so that would be fine.
Okay, so the question is the workspace available on 365 or 2013? Is it a
unfortunately, it is not available. So like it was available with the SharePoint 2010. So the workspace, or like you can have take up kind of a content from your existing version and put it back, or say take it into the different form, like the documents are there, and you can put back into the Office 365.
All right, we hope that answered your question. Okay. Any other questions? Any other suggestions, feedback? You can always email us on info@cygnetinfotech.com, and you can also get a free consultation on your collaboration. On your collaboration, and get a free consultation on how to implement it in your organization. And we look forward to hearing back from you. Have a great day. Bye.